Are bourbons really that different from ryes? Let's find out. What is going on, everybody? Nathan here with the Everyday Drinker, bringing you guys a brand new video. Today on the bar top, I conjured up a blind that I want to bring forth to you guys and see if anything in my mind makes any sense. I've got two low rye whiskeys and two bourbons that I wanted to put to the battle on the bar and see which one of these is going to come out on top. Now, we've got four 110 proof whiskeys. That's right, all four of these are the same proof, but they're all completely different. Make sure you guys drop that like, smash that subscribe button. 10,000 subscriber giveaways coming up faster than you can imagine. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below on, you can see the labels. Which one do you think is going to come out on top? And make sure you guys check that Patreon link down below. Our bottle is getting dumped this week. That's right, it is getting released so soon. So if you want to get in on that, make sure you check that Patreon link is down below. Fun giveaways, fun Discord. Hope to see you guys there in the near future. Now, without further ado, let's get into what today's video is all about. All right, so in my head, I wanted to see if a rye whiskey would beat out a bourbon, and you know, that's what I thought. So we've got two rye whiskeys. We've got the Pikesville rye whiskey. This is just barely a legal rye whiskey, coming in at 51% rye. It's 110 proof. Next up, we have the Michter's Barrel Strength 2024 release. This is again 110 proof, but Michter's has again a lower rye mash in their rye whiskey, so it's I believe 53 or 54% rye in that mash, and it does have a higher barley content as well. Bottle number 3 is going to be the Rebel Small Batch Reserve. This is a wheated bourbon, so there's no rye in it whatsoever. And this is, again, 110 proof, and our fourth bottle is the Russell's Private Select. This is going to be, you know, a little bit more of a spicy bourbon. The rye content's a little bit higher in these Russells, and this is, again, 110 proof. So without further ado, I want to see how this lineup fares and which one's going to come in first and which one's going to come in last. And let me know in the comments below which one you think is going to come in first and which is going to come in last. So as always, we're going to start on our right, work our way to the left, and then we're going to fast forward left to right so that you guys don't get bored. So let's get into the nose of glass 1. A little herbal, a little bit of a floral-esque quality. Has a little bit of an orangey marmalade note. I love this nose. Holy cow. It's so sweet, but it's dense, it's thick. Let's get in the palate. Maple syrupy, graham crackers, lots of corn though. I'm getting a big punch of corn. The nose doesn't fully transfer into the palate with this one. This one is very, very light and brown sugary and very sweet. There's a lot going on that sweetness, but it's not very rich and dense. That one's very light compared to what I would imagine all of these would have been. But let's get into the nose of glass 2. Very herbal, very herbal. It smells like it's got a little bit of a wet mossy note on it too. But it does have a underlying sweetness, but it's more floral and herbal on the nose than sweet. Let's get into the palate. Very heavy in the baking spices, like star anise, a little licoricey note. It's got a lot of leather, like dark tanned leather notes in there. A little bit of a bitter espresso comes through on there as well. And then I do get a little hint of a rye bread, but it's not dry. It's not, like, it doesn't taste like a true baked bread, but I get that rye quality coming off of this. This is 100% one of those that has a rye in it. I don't know, you know, which one it specifically is, but it's good, but it's not fantastic. I still think I think this one over here is better than this one here. So let's move into glass 3. Wow, really sweet, like brown, sugary, condensed down into like a creme brulee on like a vanilla custard. Warm coffee notes. This nose is beautiful. If this isn't a bourbon, I don't know what is. Let's get into the palate. That's so sweet. It drinks hotter than the first two though. It's a little bit spicier on that ethanol kick an alcohol burn going down, not specifically going down, but on my tongue. It's got a little bit more of a proofy note, but it's so sweet. It brings forth a lot of fruity notes. It's got a really, really nice creme brulee note in there with a little bit of like a cherry compote on top. That is unbelievable, whatever one of these four that is. It's so good. It's dense, it's thick, it's still got a little bit of a heat on the palate that it's just like overlapping my tongue, but the other qualities outweigh that little bit of alcohol, in my personal opinion. Let's get into our fourth and final glass. Starchy on the nose. It smells starchy, and when I get into that starchiness, I don't want to go into like a potato note, but I get kind of like a potato. I don't know why I get a potato. There's a little bit of a zesty quality on this, like a lemon or a not so sweet orange zest. And then I also get, when you open up like the box of like Raisin Bran cereal, I get that like first waft of opening up that cereal box and that like that brainy quality, the sweet cereal hitting your nose. That's what I'm getting off of this. And then it does have a little bit of a maple syrupy sweetness on there as well. Let's get into the palate. Whoa, hold the phone. Whatever is in glass 4 here is so sweet. Orange marmalade with a little bit of like a strawberry preserve. It's so fruity. And then like a little bit of a cinnamony aspect to it. It's like over top of a toasted bread too. It's so good. Wow, that is so good. That might be the best sip so far. I gotta go in for another one right now. Wow, that is delicious. That's got a lot going on for it, and I can't wait to go into that and dive into that again on this fast forward process. But here we go. We've got 4 down. We've got to go back again, and hope you guys enjoy it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have our final order, and this one was so difficult going back and forth between these two and then these two to find out which one would be in the last place and which one would be in first place. So we've got 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. I think it was a little harder to find what would be first out of these two than it was to find out what would be in last place out of these two, because it was a distinct divide between, you know, these two here were so different. These were on another level compared to these two in my personal opinion. So here we go. We're going to find out right now what came in 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So without further ado, 4th place goes to letter B, and letter B, no way, goes to Michter's Barrel Proof Rye Whiskey 2024 release. I can't complain about this bottle. I got it from a buddy, you know, who didn't like it as well. I enjoy it on its own. It's one of those bottles where it's really good on its own, but when you put it up against other whiskeys, this rye whiskey just does not compete, unfortunately. And I think this is the 2nd time that this has happened to this specific bottle. Let's find out what came in 3rd place. 3rd place is letter D, and letter D goes to the Rebel Small Batch Reserve, coming in at 110 proof. So there you go. A $34 bottle beating out $100-ish bottle of rye whiskey. I know this does not have any rye in it whatsoever, and some of you guys that are rye fans might not like this whatsoever, but I think the flavor profile and the profile of this whiskey, this bourbon right here, is better than this rye. So that means we've got the Pikesville Rye or the Russell's Private Select coming in 1st and 2nd place. Let's find out right now which one came in first. First place, we have letter A, and that means that we have the Russell's Private Select coming in first, and the Pikesville Rye, 51% rye, coming in 2nd place. So there we have it. That's the divide. These two are so darn good and so close and so interchangeable in many ways. I just think that the one factor of this, the bourbon, the Russells, that put it in first place was the finish. The finish of the Russells lasted and lingered for well longer than the Pikesville Rye did. I think the initial palate of the Pikesville was better than the Russells, but the overall quality of the Russells came through in the end, and that's why this came in first. Pikesville came in second. Rebel came in third, and unfortunately, our Michter's Rye Barrel Proof came in fourth. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure you guys did. Our barrel is getting dumped, so make sure you guys check out that Patreon. Link is down below. Till next time, this has been Nathan with The Everyday Drinker. Cheers.